This is Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl, Junior Edition. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome to another edition of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl, Junior Edition. Hope you're having a fantastic 4th of July weekend, and we're glad you decided to spend some of that weekend with us. Oh, we've got an exciting game for you this week. And it's a couple of teams who we've never seen before. First, how about a nice round of applause for the All Saints Catholic Academy Phoenix. First appearance ever in our tournament. Lots of smiling faces. That is good. Are you excited? We are excited to have you here. Henry is the All Saints captain. Introduce us to your team, Henry.
On my far right is Trinity, on my near right is Timmy, and on my left is Nora.
Fantastic job. You got the game started off on the right foot. That's perfect. Way to go, Henry. Facing off against the North Boone Middle School Vikings. Let's say hello to them. The Vikings are also making their first appearance. North Boone's high school team does really well in our high school tournament. We'll see if Aiden and the Vikings in the middle school can do just as well. You have some confidence, right, Aiden? I think before the game you said you're ready as you'll ever be. Yep. That's a perfect answer. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
So on my far right, we got Oscar. Right next to me on my right, I got Zach. And then on my left, we got Emily.
North Boone Vikings, welcome. Welcome, All Saints Catholic Academy Phoenix. Shall we play a game? Are you ready? Hands on your buzzers. We call this our buzzing round because you use those buzzers. The two most important rules. Wait for me to call your name and then say your answer loudly and clearly. You ready? Oh, this is so exciting. Hands on your buzzers. Here we go. In a Longfellow poem, what character watches a church tower for 1 lamp if by land and 2 if by sea before going on a midnight ride to warn Henry?
Paul Revere?
Yes, to warn the American colonists the British were coming. Way to start the game for us, Henry. The spirit form of what laboratory device uses an alcohol solution in a glass tube and is a modernized version of a mercury-based one invented by Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit to measure temperature? Oscar.
Thermometer?
Yes, of course it is. That was a pretty good answer for that. And we are tied right now. Don't Smile at Me was the debut release by what artist, whose second album includes the singles Happier Than Ever and Therefore, Nora?
Billie Eilish.
Yes, Therefore I Am, and whose breakout hit was 2019's Bad Guy. Name the Portuguese explorer who died in the Philippines while leading the first successful circumnavigation of the Earth. Oscar.
Ferdinand Magellan.
That is correct. He never made it, but one of his ships did. Nice job with that. What part of speech is subordinating when it relates a dependent clause to an independent clause and is exemplified by the words but and and? Aiden.
Conjunction.
Yes, which connect parts of a sentence, and if you remember Schoolhouse Rock, their function is hooking up words and phrases and clauses. Promise no singing today. What substance has rhyolitic and basaltic types that build up under volcanoes until it emerges as lava? Henry.
Magma?
Magma is correct. What painting depicts the wife of Francesco del Gioconda without eyelashes or brows, smiling out at the viewer? Oscar.
Mona Lisa?
Yes, and you didn't even need the final clue, created by Leonardo da Vinci. You're on top now. Name the country where the palaces of Fontainebleau and Versailles are near the River Seine, which also runs through this. Zach.
France?
Yeah. And you also didn't need the most obvious clue there, the city of Paris. Versailles might have helped, Paris certainly would have. The Olympian gods gave the Titan Epimetheus the gift of what first woman who released all of the evils of the world from a jar? Or Oscar?
Pandora?
Yes, a jar or box, now the name of a popular streaming service or jewelry company. What number is the base of the binary number system? The smallest prime and the smallest Nora.
2.
Yes, the smallest positive even number. Name the German-Austrian composer who wrote the Waldstein and Moonlight sonatas for piano while going deaf. Oscar.
Beethoven?
That's right. Maybe best known for his 5th Symphony. North Boone, you're up to 70. What U.S. states Penobscot and Kennebec rivers are home to the city of Bangor and this state's capital, Augusta? Nora.
Maine.
That's right. Also where a lot of Stephen King books are set. Name the animals from the order of Lepidoptera that form a chrysalis in their pupal stage. Henry.
Butterflies.
Yes, and are more colorful than moths. Name the Charles Dickens story in which Mr. Fezziwig, a London graveyard, and the Cratchit home are visited by 3 ghosts. Henry.
A Christmas Carol.
Yes, and Ebenezer Scrooge, who learns the importance of a winter holiday. You just tied the game. Journeys and Master Journeys are the 2 most recent seasons of what anime series? Henry.
Pokemon.
Yep, whose characters include Professor Cerise, Chloe, Go, and Ash Ketchum. Now you're on top, All Saints. What political family includes daughter Chelsea, former New York Senator and Secretary of State Hillary, and former President Bill? Henry.
Clinton.
Yes, that is the Clinton family. That's the last question of the round. We're out of time for the round. And with those last 4 in a row, All Saints, you're now on top. You have 90 points. Nice work. North Boone, not too shabby either. 70 points in our first round. And we went through practically this whole round with, I think, not a single unanswered question. 16 unanswered questions. That's already worthy of a round of applause for our teams up here. Nice job. You're getting all those applause, and we still have 3 rounds of game to play. There's way more applause where that came from. Our next round is volleyball, and we'll have it for you right after this break. Welcome back. 1 round in on this 4th of July weekend, and there are some fireworks already between these 2 teams. Sorry, I could not resist. But I want to point out again, it's very rare. We went through 16 questions in that first round, and every single question was answered. We had no answer questions. That's really impressive. See, even our high school teams don't do that often. We get to our volleyball round in just a second, but first, a very special thank you. I'm privileged to consider him a friend. Our judge today is the retired CEO of Crusader Community Health, Gordon Eggers. Gordon is also a longtime board member of the Golden Apple Foundation, and we are really excited about our station partnership with Golden Apple. But maybe more importantly, Gordon, we appreciate what you do, not just being here for us today, but for what you do, have done, and continue to do for the community. So thank you, Gordon. Let's get to our volleyball round. It is a conferring round. Work as a team, but answers have to come from the captains. And because of our flip, All Saints is going to get the first volleyball question. Henry, are you set? Here it comes. In March 2022, Rosario Dawson was surprised to be filming scenes with Mark Hamill for the show Ahsoka, an upcoming entry in what science fiction media franchise? Mark Hamill, of course, played the original Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars franchise. We're over to North Boone for your first question of the round. Aiden? The Diary of a Young Girl was the posthumously published account of what Jewish girl's time in hiding from the Nazis in a secret annex in the Netherlands?
Anne Frank.
The buzzer got you. Michael had it, but the buzzer got you. Remember, you have 5 seconds after I asked the question. But that was the right answer. I can't give you the points. Sorry. Let's get a new question now for All Saints. What Midwestern city was home to the Jefferson National Expansion Memorial until it was renamed Gateway Arch National Park in 2018?
St. Louis?
Yes. Nora, you knew that one, didn't you? I saw you lean over there and tell Henry. Nice. Those are the first points of the round, and they go to All Saints. Back over to North Boone. Stoma, which allow exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen, are found on the undersides of what plant part, which are usually shed by deciduous trees each year?
Leaves.
Yes, you got that. Won't be long before we're complaining about raking them, right? But leaves are correct. Those are North Boone's first points of the round, and we're back to All Saints. Imaginary numbers are used to express the square roots of what kind of numbers? These numbers' sign is changed by the absolute value since these numbers are less than 0.
Negative numbers?
Yes, negatives are correct. What title was held by a dynasty of emperors from the Romanov family, the last of whom, Nicholas II, lost power in 1917?
Tsar.
Tsar is correct. Alex, you leaned over, and I'll give you credit for that one. Nice work. You get those 10. Back to All Saints. The continental shelf gives way to the abyssal plain underneath what large bodies of water, of which the Earth has 5, including the Southern, Arctic, and Indian?
Oceans.
Of course. Also the Pacific and Atlantic round out those 5. Back to North Boone. Who sang, "I had no time to choose what I chose to do" in Easy on Me, the first hit single from her 2021 album, 30? That was Adele. Back to All Saints. In a novel by Bram Stoker, Abraham Van Helsing battles this fictional European count who drinks the blood of Lucy Westenra.
Count Dracula.
That is correct. Those are your points, and that's how we end the round. 10 more for All Saints. So now you're up to 130. North Boone's at 90, just shy of triple digits. 2 very impressive scores, 2 very impressive teams. And we'll see how they do with some more questions worth points in our Nika IBEW lightning round. But before that, a question worth pizza and pasta. It's the Bergstrom bonus. You'll see it first now. We'll come back with the answer.
The first Independence Day celebration was held in which U.S. city that also is home to the baseball's Phillies and football's Eagles?
Halfway through our game, and only 40 points separate our 2 teams. Before we change those scores, how about filling some bellies with pizza and pasta from Lino's? That's what's on the line in our Bergstrom bonus question. If you're watching at home, you already saw the question. Contestants, you have not. It's a buzz-in. Hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answer to this. The first Independence Day celebration was held in which U.S. city that also is the home of baseball's Phillies and football's Aiden?
Philadelphia.
That is correct. Football's Eagles. Smiles all around for that Lino's pizza and pasta. That first appropriate question for this 4th of July weekend, right? First 4th of July celebration took place July 4th, 1777. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll come back with some more gameplay. Our Nika IBEW lightning rounds next. Halfway through our game in our Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Junior Edition for a spot in our Elite 8. One of these teams is moving on. It's a pretty tight game right now, only 40 points between All Saints and North Boone. Our lightning round will change that very quickly. And we call it the Nika IBEW lightning round for a reason, because it happens very fast. But there are also a lot of points on the line. Because of the coin flip, North Boone gets first pick this week. So these are your 3 categories to choose from, Aiden. Bird biology, animals and literature, or Norse gods?
Norse gods.
All right, that's yours. Name the following gods, goddesses, and legendary figures who are important to Norse myth. You'll have 60 seconds to go through them. If you get all of them, you add 100 points to your score. And advice to both teams, you can pass. And then, Henry, you'll have 30 seconds to get to what they either pass on or answer incorrectly or don't get to because of time. Aiden, are you ready for your first question?
Yep.
Name the following gods, goddesses, and legendary figures who are important to Norse myth. God of thunder, who wielded a hammer.
Thor.
Correct. Allfather, who gave an eye for wisdom.
Odin.
Correct. Trickster god, sometimes described as a frost
Loki.
giant. Correct. Golden-haired goddess of love and magic.
Pass.
Giant wolf, who was the son of the trickster god.
Pass.
Enormous snake that encircled the world.
Pass.
God of war, whose hand was bitten off by a giant wolf.
Pass.
Guard of the Rainbow Bridge, Bifrost.
Pass.
Shield maidens, such as Brunhilde, who carried off warriors after death.
Pass.
Son of Frigg, killed by his brother Hoder on the advice of the trickster god.
Pass.
Golden-haired goddess of love and magic.
Pass.
Giant wolf, who was the son of the... And that's our time. Those first 3 were pretty simple, and then they got progressively harder. There are 7 left on the board now for you, All Saints. We have a 10-point game right now, but there's still 70 points available, Henry, just in this category alone, but only 30 seconds to get to them. So again, pass if you need it for the time. Are you ready for your first one? Name the following gods, goddesses, and legendary figures important to Norse myth. Golden-haired goddess of love and magic.
Pass.
Giant wolf, who was the son of the trickster god.
Pass.
Enormous snake that encircled the world.
Pass.
God of war, whose hand was bitten off by a giant wolf.
Kronos.
Incorrect. Guard of the Rainbow Bridge, Bifrost.
Helmdall.
Say that again?
Heimdall. Sorry.
Correct.
I said it wrong.
Shield maidens, such as Brunhilde, who carried off warriors after death.
Pass.
son of Frigg, killed by his brother Hoder on the advice of the trickster god. And there's no time left for you to answer. You added 1, so you widen the gap a little bit. It's a 20-point gap. There's a lot for me to recap here. I'll do it as fast as I can. The golden-haired goddess of love and magic is Freya. The wolf, who is the son of trickster god, so Loki's son, is Fenrir. The enormous snake that encircled the world is Jormungandr. The god of war, also the name of a swim apparel company, is Tyr, T-Y-R. The shield maidens who carried off warriors after death are the Valkyries. And the son of Frigg, killed by his brother Hoder on the advice of the trickster god, is Balder. So we have a 20-point swing with one more category to go in lightning. And Henry, these are your choices: bird biology or animals in literature.
Animals in literature.
Okay. Name these animals or types of animals that appear in works of literature. Same rules apply to you for the first run through, and then Aiden, same rules for you, 30 seconds to clean up whatever they don't get. Right now, All Saints, you have a 20-point lead. We'll see what happens after this category. Henry, are you ready for your first one?
Yep.
Name these animals or types of animals that appear in works of literature. In the works of A.A. Milne, a cuddly teddy bear who lives in the 100-acre woods.
Winnie the Pooh.
Correct. In The Wizard of Oz, a cowardly character seeking his courage.
Lion.
Correct. In A Song of Ice and Fire, the kind of animal that Daenerys hatches and raises.
Pass.
In a story by Beatrix Potter, the rabbit brother of Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
Peter.
Correct. In The Jungle Book, the kind of animals that raise Mowgli as part of their pack.
Bear.
Incorrect. Don Quixote's steed, Rocinante, is an old and sick one of this kind of animal.
Pass.
In The Call of the Wild, this kidnapped dog eventually joins an Alaskan wolf pack.
Pass.
The title animal of a story by Edgar Allan Poe, an animal named Pluto, who terrorizes the man who kills him.
Raven.
Incorrect. In a story by Mark Twain, the kind of celebrated jumping animal that loses a jumping contest. No time to answer there. That one was tough as well. Started out easy. You added 30 to your score. You're at 170. So there's 7 left, Aiden, but only 30 seconds for them, and I will read as quickly as I can. There's some we haven't even heard yet, so we'll see how you do, and you can close that gap probably. You ready for your first one? Name these animals or types of animals that appear in works of literature. In A Song of Ice and Fire, the kind of animal that Daenerys hatches and raises.
Dragon.
Correct. In the Jungle Book, the kind of animals that raise Mowgli as part of their pack.
Wolf.
Correct. Don Quixote's steed, Rocinante, is an old and sick one of this kind of animal.
Husky.
Incorrect. In The Call of the Wild, this kidnapped dog eventually joins an Alaskan wolf pack.
Husky.
Incorrect. The title animal of a story by Edgar Allan Poe, an animal named Pluto, who terrorizes the man who kills him.
Pass.
In a story by Mark Twain, the kind of celebrated, no time to get to those last 2. You added 2 more. So now we're back at a 30-point difference here. I'll go to each of these we did not get. Don Quixote's steed, Rocinante, is a horse, an old and sick horse. Call of the Wild, the kidnapped dog that joins an Alaskan wolf pack, is Buck. The title animal of the Edgar Allan Poe story named Pluto, this is kind of an obscure Edgar Allan Poe, and Raven was a very, very good guess. It's a black cat. That was what type of animal Pluto is. The Mark Twain story, the celebrated jumping blank that loses the jumping contest, is a celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County. That's the full story title. And in the last one no one got, In the Wind in the Willows, the mischievous character that Mole and Rat try to cure of his reckless driving is Toad. Inspiration, if you've ever been to Disneyland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was inspired by that. We have a 30-point swing as we head into our Mercy Health Final Challenge. Very tight game with 2 very good teams. We'll see how it all ends up right after this break. Oh man, we've been using these commercial breaks to catch our breath because this has been a very exciting game from the beginning. There's only 30 points between our teams right now. All Saints has 170, North Boone has 140, and the last spot in our Elite 8 is on the line. No pressure, teams. I'm kidding. You guys have been doing fantastic. And our final challenge, you've been through this already. It's just like our first round, except questions are worth 20 points instead of 10 points. So hands on your buzzers. Everybody take a deep breath. Good luck. Here we go with the Mercy Health Final Challenge. The measurement of what physical quantity is described in the Joule-Thomson effect as decreasing for an expanding volume of gas? Its SI unit is the Kelvin, but it is more commonly measured in Celsius. Aiden.
Degrees.
Incorrect. All Saints. Henry.
Temperature?
Temperature, that's right. Degrees was the unit. What it's measuring is temperature. What English monarch's children carried the gene for hemophilia into numerous European royal families after this queen's 19th century reign? Zach.
Catherine the Great?
Incorrect. All Saints? A whole age was named after her. That's Victoria. What kind of natural object is the home of the mythical creatures Nidhogg and Ratatosk? In Norse myth, Yggdrasil is one of these things that stretches between the 9 realms with its roots and branches. Henry.
Tree?
Yes, that is correct. Name the video game franchise created by Scott Coffin, whose December 20... Timmy.
FNAF?
Yes, that is correct. Of course, you know, those of us who aren't as cool, that's not Five Nights at Freddy's. Name the European country that owns the islands of Rhodes, Lesbos, and Crete, which are governed from the city of Athens. Henry.
Greece?
That is correct. That last city probably was a clue. That is 3 in a row for All Saints. What substance can be reduced in the human body by statins, has HDL and LDL types, and can cause heart disease when it accumulates as fatty... Oscar.
Blood?
Incorrect. I'll finish for All Saints. It accumulates as fatty plaques in the arteries. Henry.
Cholesterol?
Cholesterol is right. You're way too young to have to know about statins yet, but you just wait. What kind of animal names the sky his own in a Maya Angelou poem that says, "I know why the caged this animal sings"? Henry.
Bird?
That is correct. Very famous book by her. Name the 1950s military conflict that ended with the establishment of a 38th parallel demilitarized zone between the north and south sides. Zach.
Korean War?
Yes, we'll take that, of an Asian peninsula, and that is the Korean Peninsula. What Dutch-born artist painted Bedroom in Arliss, The Potato Eaters, and Self-Portrait with Bandaged Ear? Oscar.
Vincent van Gogh?
That is correct, because he famously cut off that ear. Name the U.S. state where the Allegheny River flows through the city of Pittsburgh, which, Zach.
Pennsylvania?
Yep, sits across the state from Philadelphia. 3 in a row, North Boone. What country is the home of authors Thomas Keneally and Peter Carey, whose novels are set in the outback in cities like Sydney? Zach.
Australia?
Yes, that is right. 4 in a row. But that streak at the end is not enough to close the gap. All Saints, congratulations. You are moving on to the next round. Nice job. And I don't know if you caught that, but when the applause started, Aiden was the one who led the applause for All Saints moving on. Nice job, Aiden. We have to say goodbye, and that's the toughest part of the game. But how many of you are 8th graders? None of you? That means you'll be back next year for our Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Juniors edition, right? Aiden, next year you'll be smiling, I promise. You should not, you should still smile, because you did a fantastic job. There are teams that score, it's very rare to score 200 points or more and not move on. We understand your disappointment, but hope you had fun. It's not working, is it? Moms and dads, wow. All Saints, congratulations, you're moving on. And then next week, we hope you can join us. We begin our Elite 8 round with Lena Winslow versus Keith. Happy 4th of July.